Explain for the people that's kind of confused. They was out here looking for their daughter and came across another body.
That moment,
you're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
Texas until I feel like Texas, this place just swallowed up my baby. I couldn't even go there. I didn't even have the courage.
We're back with the family, desperate to find out what happened to a young woman from Dallas after her body was discovered under a bridge. Janicia Mason's family reported her missing in Dallas earlier this month, and a few days later, police found her body under a bridge in Fort Worth.
She was just thrown out like she wasn't nothing, like she was nobody. She was somebody. She was my baby.
on the evening March 17, 2023, a simple mistake of a 19-year-old who entered the wrong car would unknowingly lead to a tragic end to her life that had just started. And in the early morning of March 23, 2023, the police uncovered something truly horrifying at the riverbanks of the 350 Precinct Line Road, Texas. When they arrived at the scene, the officers found the lifeless body of a young woman, discarded like nothing. No one knew how she ended up there or why.
Under this bridge, by the dirt and weeds and bugs, this is where Fort Worth police found 19-year-old Janicia Mason's body.
What investigators discovered next would change everything. This is the heartbreaking story of Janicia Mason. Janicia, affectionately known as Neen by her loved ones, was a bright and loving 19-year-old from Shreveport, Louisiana. She was often described as sweet, caring, and funny by the people who were dear close to her. And among the dearest relationships Janicia had, she was especially close to her mother and sister. They were best friends, sharing all the details of their life to each other. As a young woman, she had her whole life ahead of her, full of dreams and aspirations. Janicia loved doing her hair, makeup, and making videos, always envisioning a future that is full of possibilities. Having just graduated from high school, Janicia was trying to build the life she dreamed of. She dreamed of wanting to go to school to become a nail technician, and with those plans, she moved to Euless, Texas, embarking on her journey to fulfill her dreams. But one fateful decision would steer everything to a dark turn. On the evening of March 17, 2023, Janicia's mom, Barbara, awaited her daughter's visit. But Janicia never came. Barbara tried to call her multiple times, but for every call that she made, it was directed to voicemail. And the same happened to all the texts she sent to Janicia. They were all left unanswered. Clueless of the whereabouts of her daughter, Barbara's motherly instinct kicked right at that moment. She knew something was definitely wrong. As the night progressed, no sign of Janicia appeared and panic started to set in for her mother. This is when Barbara has decided to report her daughter missing in hopes that she will be found. But little did she know, a chilling revelation was looming, ready to change everything. As the days passed, the search and investigation to look for the missing Janicia took place, with the investigators and Janicia's loved ones clinging to every lead, every whisper of a clue that could point to where the missing 19-year-old is. At that point, all that they had was the uncertainty of where Janicia is, what had happened to her, or if she was even still alive, but no effort by the authorities seems to lead anywhere until a shred of intel came to light, leading to a series of events that will crack Janicia's case open. As the authorities dug through the case, a chilling account of a witness emerged. According to the witness, Janicia stepped into a red Chevrolet Monte Carlo with a Hispanic man who was unknown to the witness or to the mother. This was the moment when the horrifying series of events started to unfold, marking the last time that Janicia will be seen alive. But from there, no one knew where Janicia and the mysterious man headed. No information about the identity of the man, nor about Janicia's relationship with the man. The investigators could only try to uncover the truth, and the deeper they dug, the more disturbing the truth became. And it wasn't long until the horrifying discoveries surfaced. On the morning of March 23, 2023, the search for the young Janicia came to a devastating end. The police received a call about a dead body 30 miles away from where the teenager was last seen in Dallas. This was when it was confirmed. Janisha's body was found under the bridge in Fort Worth, Texas, shot in the head, stripped, discarded as if she were nothing, and lifeless.
Under a bridge in Fort Worth, was shot to death.
Police arrested a man for murdering 19-year-old Janicia Mason last week, but questions still remain about what led up to that shooting.
We know the 19-year-old was found with multiple gunshot wounds. However, it's still a mystery because her mom says she was last seen in Dallas, but then her body was found under a bridge in Fort Worth. Under this Fort Worth bridge, investigators found the body of 19-year-old Janicia Mason late last month. Monday, the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's website says Mason's death was ruled a homicide due to multiple gunshot wounds.
But one detail in the crime scene hinted at the events that took place before she was met with her tragic end. At the crime scene, between her body and the gravel strip beside the road were markings and impressions that indicate that Janisha's lifeless body was dragged to where it was found. This meant that her murder did not take place at the riverbanks. She was killed somewhere else before she was disposed of at the crime scene. But even with these revelations, the authorities were still asking questions that would remain a mystery for a while. Why did this happen? Why did Janicia enter that car in the first place? And, most chillingly, who would commit such a brutal act? And why? Meanwhile, across town, Barbara Taylor is still determined to find her missing daughter. With the police still not informing her about the discovery of her daughter's body, Barbara decided to take matters into her own hands. She tirelessly searched everywhere in hopes of finding any sign of her beloved Janisha, clinging to the belief that her daughter is still alive. Then, a chilling discovery happened. Barbara stumbled upon a body. At that moment, the worst fears that a mother would ever face would come crashing down on Barbara. Rushing towards the unknown body, Barbara gripped on the fact that the body may belong to her baby girl. Slowly,
oh my goodness, so while she was looking for her daughter, she stumbled across a body.
inching to the truth, she hoped to be wrong, and relief came as she realized that it was another person's body.
Oh my God.
That's what we here for?
I'm here. My daughter had been missing since Friday. No one's heard from her since Friday night. I text her about 6:20, 6:30. She texted me back. I told my daughter I miss her, come home. She said, Mama, I miss you too. I'm trying to get my life together. I'm coming home. She's supposed to come back home on Monday. She never returned. No phone calls, no text messages. Her phone is going straight to voicemail. The only thing that I have is she was with this girl, Angel. I've been looking for her, and she's the only person that I know that would have known what have went on and where she at. Something about a red Monte Carlos that picked her up right here behind the Walnut Hill Inn, a Mexican guy. So they said she got in the car with a Mexican guy and never came back.
Right.
So I'm not sure, but if anybody has any information dealing with my daughter, Janicia, they call her Nene, please reach out to me, inbox Snatch Topic, let them know what's going on. I want my baby to come home, and this is no feeling that no mother should have to even do.
True that.
And also, you need help with search party to help.
I also need assistance with search parties. Anybody that want to assist, come out, help us look. We scavenge in the area out here off of Shady Grove Lane, Labate, Harry Hines, North Dallas. We're going to scavenge this area. We're going to go across town because they could just be giving us the runaround. And she might not be over in this area. She could be anywhere. So as of now, anybody that wants to help, come out and assist us with looking with this search party. Please reach out. And I need all the help I can.
So the body that she found was not her daughter. So what's going on in that neighborhood?
And let me explain for the people that's kind of confused. They was out here looking for their daughter and came across another body.
That moment changed everything. If it was another man who suffered the fate of death, what did it mean for her daughter? This horrifying discovery only sparked a bigger sense of urgency and desperation for Barbara. Somewhere out there, her daughter is still missing, or so she thought. Little did she know that across town, another piece of the puzzle was falling into place. Back at the crime scene, the investigators found a crucial clue to Janisha's death that would change the course of the case. Her phone was last tracked close to an area that is known for prostitution, just hours after she was last seen entering the unknown car. But from then on, it was just silence. Nothing. No phone calls, no messages, no pings. It was as if she just disappeared.
On New this morning, the Fort Worth police need your help figuring out what happened to a woman who was found dead under a bridge last week. They posted a message on social media with photos of Genesia Mason. She was found under a bridge at 350 Precinct Line Road at about 9 o'clock Thursday morning. Police are asking you to call if you have any related information.
And the investigators are yet again faced with a stall. But it wasn't long until the truth surfaced, revealing the tragic events leading to Genesia's death. This was when the detectives pieced together the timeline of the tragic event, and a name came, a suspect that would change the course of the investigation of Genesia's case. The mysterious man inside the Monte Carlo was identified as the 29-year-old Joseph Aparicio, and his links to the death of Genesia grew stronger as the police's investigation deepened, with evidence after evidence piled up against him. And it was not long until the police pieced together these evidences. As it turns out, the findings of the police uncovered that this was not the first time that Aparicio had a run-in with the law. Public records show that he had a previous conviction for unlawful possession of firearms, which increased the police suspicion of his involvement in the death of Genesia. But it does not end there. The police found surveillance footage of Joseph's car around the area where Genesia's phone was last tracked, the same area where she was last seen alive. And as they searched his home, a chilling discovery was found in his bathroom as they collected the clothes of the young woman. And the most damning evidence that established Aparicio's involvement in the murder is the evidence that was found next. As the investigators looked for stronger evidence to finally incarcerate a suspect, they discovered Genesia's DNA in his car. Her blood was found in the passenger seat of his car, which meant that her body was transported using the red Monte Carlo that Aparicio owned. And now, with evidence piling up against him, he was cornered by the authorities. In the early hours of March 3rd, 2023, at around 1 a.m. Joseph Aparicio was arrested by the Fort Worth Police Department at his Holtham City home. He was charged with the murder of Genesia Mason, but the mystery of why Aparicio did it remained unanswered. As the investigators pushed for the truth, they were left to speculate the chilling possibilities that lead to the tragedy that was of Genesia. The police suspected that something must have happened when Aparicio picked up Genesia, something that triggered him into committing the heinous act of ending the unknowing 19-year-old before soullessly dumping her body along the riverbanks of Fort Worth. But these remained to be just speculations, as Aparicio never admitted anything related to his motive. Meanwhile, as the truth was uncovered, the news of what really happened to her daughter finally reached the searching Barbara. The agonizing days of waiting were over, but as much as she was looking for answers of what happened to her daughter, nothing could have prepared her for what news will arrive to her. As it dawned on her, her world was shattered, with her beloved daughter gone. Of all the things she hoped her daughter would be, the life full of dreams and potential, stolen in an instant. Genesia's tragic death didn't only leave Barbara broken, but all of Genesia's loved ones who knew and cared for her deeply. And with the word of her untimely death spread among her community, they were left enraged, demanding answers, demanding justice for Genesia. But, as fate would have it, justice doesn't come easy for those who deserve it. Then comes the battle for justice. And another question emerged. Would Aparicio truly pay for what he had done?
I hope
for
so.
months, the detectives worked tirelessly to piece all of the evidence together, ensuring that justice would be served for Genesia, vying to ensure that Aparicio would not walk free ever again. Then, after months of battling for justice, a well-deserved punishment would fall on Aparicio.
Good.
On February 7th, 2025, Joseph Aparicio was sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to Genesia Mason's murder.
Worth police say on March 23rd, they received a call that someone located Mason under a bridge off South Precinct Line Road in Fort Worth.
Crazy.
A week later, Fort Worth investigators took 29-year-old Joseph Aparicio into custody. Aparicio sits in the Tarrant County Jail charged with murder. Fort Worth PD tells Fox 4 Monday Aparicio was arrested at his Haltom City home just after 1 a.m. on March 30th. Mason's family says she was last seen alive in Dallas with other friends. It's still unclear how she knew Aparicio and how her body ended up nearly 30 miles away.
With the damning evidence piled up against him, the surveillance footage, Genicia's clothes in his bathroom, and her DNA in his car, there was no longer any room for doubt that he was the murderer. But what made his crime even worse is that this was not his first crime.
Oh my God.
During the investigation, the police found out that Aparicio was also linked to another murder in Denton County, leading him to receive a sentence of life in prison. And with that, justice was served.
Did you not think that she have family, a big, huge family and friends that love her? Like, you hurt a lot of people. He really hurt a lot of people.
Fort Worth police also haven't released why they believe Aparicio killed Mason. It's also unknown where exactly Mason was killed before she was dumped. Online records show Aparicio does have a criminal history, including an unlawful possession with a firearm in 2022.
Yet one haunting question is still left unanswered. Why did Aparicio kill Genicia? Genicia was laid to rest in Louisiana, surrounded by grieving family and friends.
Every time I hear it, it's like a piece of me is just dying and dying in the inside, because she didn't deserve it at all.
Mason's mother, Barbara Taylor, just returned to North Texas Monday after her daughter's funeral over the weekend in Louisiana.
That's the part that I'm glad that she's put to rest. Yes, ma'am. I'm glad that my daughter is put to rest and I was able to find her.
However, Taylor says her daughter was laid to rest, still with so many questions. Taylor says the last day she talked to her daughter was March 17th.
She said that she was going to give me a call, and I called after dinner. She didn't pick up. The next morning, she didn't pick up, and I started getting worried.
The young woman who was full of potential and brought light to the lives of many, gone in an instant. Her future robbed from her, all for a simple mistake and horrifying violence.
How was he able to kill two people? I don't get it.
Until now, the truth of Aparicio's intent to kill is still left unanswered.
Investigators won't say much, but are asking aggressively and urgently for anyone with information to come forward.
Somebody knows something.
Barbara told me Genicia just graduated high school.
Sad.
Loved to do hair
baby.
and nails and makeup, take videos. Was looking forward to buying a car, getting braces.
I love Texas until I feel like Texas, this place just swallowed up my baby.
It's a vulnerable thing.
I couldn't even go there. I didn't even have the courage
to show people your pain
Oh
so
my God.
publicly. But Barbara hopes showing you her hurt might compel you to help and tell police what you know, if you know anything. In Fort Worth, I'm Sydney Perth.
The tragic case of Genicia serves as a reminder of staying vigilant and being cautious on who we trust, and to always be aware of the dangers that are lurking in the shadows. Let us know what you think about this case in the comment section below.
They hate you. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.